Welcome back, everybody. We're here to make a video for the 14th of January. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy and one card for each sign, and we'll look at how those energies meld together as we go through this video for each sign around the zodiac wheel. Starting us off, though, overall energy is boop-a-dee-doo-doo, Six of Pentacles. All right, now that's some pretty fair energy. I think I can live with that. That's some energy that talks about the idea of things being reciprocal. So this could be that you're offering some kind of service or product and somebody is paying you for it. Or if you have loaned money, you could be getting a payback on a loan. Or if you've loaned even like an egg or half a cup of sugar or whatever. This is where somebody is making things even after you have done something for them or when you do something for them. Okay, so we like to see that. That's a good start. Let's see what comes up with this, and we'll see how that plays out for everybody. I've gotten a little leery of getting too excited about good cards anymore because sometimes the combinations that come up with them kind of shoots down the goodness. So my attitude is a little different. I'm more cautious about these videos than I used to be. All right, let's take a peek. At least I'm cautious about calling them good right off the bat. Let's take a peek at Aries for today. Aries, Ace of Wands. This is really nice. I do think that somebody is paying you back for something here today, Aries, and them paying you back gives you a good idea. For some of you, it's just going to be a good idea about what to do with your resources now that you have them back in your hot little hands. But for others of you, it's going to give you an idea of something that you could do to increase your income. I think for some of you, you're thinking, well, if I did that once, why couldn't I do that again and again and again? So very interesting how that comes up for you, Aries. Next up, we're looking at Taurus. Magician showing up for Taurus along with the overall energy. So let's see here. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo. Taurus, I think that you're making good use of whatever this is that's coming back to you. So if you're getting paid for a service or a product or getting paid for your time or getting repaid on a loan, I think that you're taking whatever that is coming back to you, and I think you're making good use of it to create even something on top, something next level to whatever this is that's coming back to you. So good for you, Taurus. Next up, we're looking at Gemini. Geminis, you guys have the Page of Pentacles showing up here. Ba-ba-da-da, what's happening? Okay, so Geminis, I think you have a situation today where you're hearing news about somebody who's planning on paying you back or catching up on what they owe to you, whether that's money or whether that's something else. I think you're hearing good news about, when that's going to happen. Usually when we have the page, this is not necessarily the money in our hands, although it could be, but usually it's more about the message about the money that will be coming into our hands. Okay, so that's what I've got for Geminis. Next up, we're looking at Cancer. All right, Cancer's Strength card coming up really nicely for you. I like how this blends in. This tells me that you've got somebody who is paying you back completely. They're paying you back well. So this isn't somebody that comes to you and says, well, I've only got half of what I said I was going to pay you back right now, so let me give you that, and then I'll have to pay you the other half in such and such a while. This is somebody just paying you completely for whatever this is that you're doing or whatever it is that you loan them. So we like these types of cards. This is a good combo. And who was that? That was Cancer. Okay, Cancers, we like that. Good for you. Next up, we're looking at Leo. Leo. Knight of Wands coming up in reverse, Leo. All right, what's going on for Leos with this Knight of Wands in reverse? That looks like a sword, doesn't it? It does to me. Leos, I think that you may have somebody that is paying you back from a couple of different places, maybe so more than one different place. For me, the Knight of Wands in reverse talks about scattered energy. And when we're looking at somebody paying you off or paying you back, then what we're looking at here is multiple people paying you back or paying you off today. So very nice. Good for you, Leos. Next up, we're looking at Virgo. Two of Swords, Virgos. Ba, ba, da, da. Virgos, here's what I'm going to say. I think that you are negotiating with somebody today and you're letting them know, look, if I do such and such for you, this is how much it's going to cost. This is when you'll need to pay me back by or pay me by if you're taking payment up front. Whatever that situation, you could very easily with this Two of Swords be giving somebody a quote or an estimate on something. Two of Swords for me talks about a decision, and this is a decision about somebody paying you for a product or service or putting in the same amount of effort and energy into a situation as you are. So I think you're making some kind of decision here about this. And I also strongly get the sense that you're letting the other person or the other party know what your decisions are regarding this situation. All right, so that's Virgo, being very practical, making sure everybody's on the same page. Good for you. Next up, we're looking at Libra. Okay, Libra is Three of Swords showing up here for you guys. Three of Swords. This is really interesting. I kind of get a whole little saga off of these two cards for you. Looks like somebody is paying you back or paying you off. And to me, I think this is really rough for you because I think that you kind of feel like, well, if they don't owe me anything, they're not going to be around anymore. Now they're just history. And I think that is something that doesn't make you very happy. In fact, it makes you pretty sad. Interesting, Libras. Next up, let's look at Scorpio. Scorpio. Three of Wands coming up in reverse. Do, 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 do. Okay, so Scorpio, somebody paying us off or paying us back, and we don't really have any long-term plans for whatever this is that's coming back to us, whether it's a half a cup of flour that we loaned to somebody or whether it's hard cold cash, who knows. But either way, we don't have a whole lot of long-term plans for this. Whatever it is, whenever it comes back, I think that it's going to be made good use of again in the moment, fairly quickly. As it comes back, then it goes back out. This really talks to me about this idea of that payback flowing sort of through our hands out to the world again. Whether we're going to loan this out or whether we're going to create a new service that goes out to the world and pay for whatever services are required for that or whatever. This is just, we don't have anything that we're stashing back here. We're keeping things in motion. That's the best way I know how to say that. Next up, we're looking at Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, you guys have the Empress showing up in reverse. Interesting. So Sagittarius, what's going on here with the Empress in reverse and that overall energy is that somebody is paying you back, but it makes you feel like, well, if they don't owe you anything, then you're not really helping them right now, and maybe they don't need you if you're not helping them right now. Surely they might want to borrow some more money or whatever. So this is actually kind of codependent behavior. And if you don't know about codependent behavior, you might want to Google it. It's basically not the most healthy reaction that we can have as adults. We're basically living in coping mechanisms that we came up with as children whenever maybe our parents weren't as stable as they could have been for whatever reason. And so we develop coping mechanisms where we like to feel like there's some sort of control, even if it's kind of a side door type of control, like somebody owes us money or whatever. And so we're not always really happy when somebody does well enough to pay us off, because now they're not really like, well, do they really need us? That's really what it comes down to. Do they really need us anymore? Maybe they don't need us anymore. And if they don't need us anymore, maybe they don't love us anymore either. All right. So, that's kind of the thought pattern that shows up for me when I'm looking at this combination. Um, and if that's the case, number one, I've been there. And number two, that's really sad. And number three, then you may want to, if you feel like this is true for you, then you may want to start digging into some of those old triggers and old feelings and start really untangling the mess of wires that was installed in your operating system from a young age, and see what you can do to come into a place where you can feel more healthy about the idea of somebody else gaining their independence, as they should. Okay, so who was that? That was Sagittarius. Next up, we're going to look at Capricorn. Six of Cups coming up here in reverse, Capricorn. Capricorns, I think somebody is paying you back for something, or there's some kind of reciprocal energy here where you were not really expecting to pay them back, or for them to pay you back, I mean. In fact, you might have been happier, like if you never saw them again, and you might have been thinking, I'm just writing that off as a loss, and I would rather do that than try to hunt this person down and get whatever this is back, whether it's money or something else. But somebody is paying you back. And it's somebody that I don't think you really enjoy seeing all that much. So I don't feel like there's going to be a big old love in here whenever they pay you back. You're going to be like, well, thank you. I wasn't expecting you to do this. And then you're going to shut the door. That kind of energy here. All right, next up, we're looking at Aquarius. Queen of Wands coming up for Aquarius. So Aquarius, whatever this is that you're being paid back for, or where you have reciprocal energy, you're selling a service or a product or whatever, I feel like this might have something to do with either your own business, Aquarius, or some kind of side gig that you're running, some kind of side hustle. That Queen of Wands is very independent. She's entrepreneurial, spirited. She really doesn't like to have a boss breathing down her neck. That type of personality shows up here. So whatever this payment's coming in for, like I said, I think that's for your own thing, whether it's a side thing or whether it's your own business full time. All right, so that was Capricorn. No, that was Aquarius. All right, we're already up to Pisces. How did that happen? Just like the year goes by so fast. King of Cups coming up in reverse, Pisces, with that overall energy. Pisces, what I'm feeling on these cards is that somebody has been making payments to you on something for a while. And this may be getting close to the last payment, or maybe even the last payment that they actually owe you. And I think that as that comes to an end, you are looking for new ways to receive money on a regular basis. So say this is a tenant and they are moving out of your rental property, then this talks about you're already looking for tenants to take their place. Maybe you're even doing screenings because you really don't want to let go of that income, even though the other people are, it's time for them to move on to the next place. That's just one example, but to me, this is talking about this idea of having a hard time letting go of receiving money for whatever you have to offer, whether it's a service or a product. So I think that there's definitely some kind of change there whenever it comes to your income. And I think you're kind of having a hard time letting the old thing go. But it's like you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back with it right now. That's what we see so far, at least today. All right, so that's what I've got for everybody here. Thank you so much for being here, sticking around with me. I do appreciate it. All of you have a fantastic day. Peace out.